Daily Broadside, day 908. You see these videos where it's like they go out and they catch these SA predators, where these guys are trying to hook up with these kids online and stuff, meet them in like a Dollar General or something. And then these like civilian groups, they go out and they'll pose as the kids, and then they'll film a video of meeting them in public, and they're like, "Hold up, Stanley, don't run away. Talk to us or we're going to call the police." And I think I'd rather you call the police than just embarrass the guy in a Dollar General, I don't understand what we're trying to accomplish here. I think it would be better, because here's what's going to happen. Here's what I envision happening. You know how like you can upset somebody that has a heroin addiction, and you're like, like an intervention can like push somebody over the edge, right? Like, what do they always want to do before they leave? Let me just get high one more time, because that stress of that interaction like makes them want to go use. It's like an alcoholic getting in stress and they're like, "I need a drink." What do you think of catch a predator? What do you think you're doing in the Dollar General when you get up with these predators? They're like, "This is too stressful. I need to go online and like hook up with a 9-year-old." I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you're driving them to do this more often. I think we get the police involved and maybe, I don't know, build a case against them and put them away for ever, hopefully. Maybe that would do a little bit more good than what we're doing, And olive oil is not a good flavor. It's a good item. But when you take olive oil and you make it a flavor, I was eating like I don't know what it was like olive oil and basil Triscuits or something. It just doesn't translate well when they make it in a lab. And because I fail to see where they've just actually dumped olive oil on those Triscuits. It's some kind of like drop that they've put into the incubating Triscuit machine that they make those things at, and it just doesn't hold weight. And while we're talking about food, if you've ever not tried tongue tacos, la lengua, it is the single greatest food there is. Birria and lengua are my two favorite go-tos in Hispanic joints. And I'm talking about like the authentic places where if you can't read Spanish, you can't read the menu. I'm not talking about, the Mi Pueblos and, the normal crap where they just have like 18 different versions of a burrito, or whatever. Get the tongue, okay? It's not what you think. It is the softest, most tenderest, I don't think that's a word, but most tenderest meat that there is. We all went to the grocery store as a kid with our mom, and we would see that big beef tongue and that pink tray with the cellophane, and we would poke our finger into it and go, "Wow, it's a tongue. That is enormous." It's not that, okay? They peel that outer layer. You get all that taste bud layer off. You're not eating that part. You're eating the inner tongue. It's the softest thing you've ever put in your mouth. And, I'm just telling you, just get past your own inhibitions and fear and put the lengua in your mouth. There's a tongue taco truck. It's basically what it should be called, near me, that sells them for like $1.25 a taco. Little street tacos. I'll tell you what, it's enough to slap your mama. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I think that not having as many manual transmissions these days is just really screwing us up as a country. I think that, you're having so many more silly wrecks because people aren't really learning to drive. You know what I mean? I watched a video the other day of somebody, and I think they just left the lot with a $1.9 million McLaren Senna, right? A very expensive car. And they just goose it and bam, just ride right into a pole and destroy the front end. Probably totaled it. I don't know. It's easy to total a car when you have a carbon fiber monocoque subframe, holding the whole thing together. But my point is, like, it's so easy today to go out and buy a 700 or 800 horsepower. 700 or 800 horsepower. It's kind of crazy to think of, what a Corvette had in 1991. It's barely pushing 325, and now we've got 800 horsepower cars that anybody without a license to drive, like a racing license, can just go out and buy. And all you got to do, there's no manual transmission. You just point in the right direction and floor it and hold on, and you hope that your lack of driving skills will compensate for the fact of what you get yourself into. And then you spin it out and you don't know what to do, so you freak out and you drive into a tree. Like, it's just crazy. I mean, at least with a manual, like, you'd have to like have many things going on at once, and there was a lot more mastery of the vehicle than it is just putting it in gear and pointing it in the right direction. It's kind of like big trucks, semis these days. There's people that have restrictions on their license. A lot of people from other countries, I've noticed, They have automatic transmission only, because some of those big trucks, the Volvos and all, a lot of them are being made with automatics. You don't have, 13-speed Eatons and all this stuff. And the main problem with that is, other than that's like the most non-American thing I can think of, is an automatic semi. But it's also that, like, I think they're air shifted. So if your air pump goes out, you no longer have a transmission, which is kind of a problem when you're trying to change gears and haul the load, like CJ McCoy. What's his name? Convoy, CJ McCall Convoy. That's what I'm trying. When you're trying to get the goods, the bill of lading up the road to the next stop. Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about. Tongue tacos for your Sunday night. Get it.